toe.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Like
the pinky toe.
Like on the side of the bed, bro.
This, you can't hit anything, run into anything, and you can press it. Be like, "What's up? What's up? You wanna go?" But as soon as you hit your toe, like your pinky toe, there's no way to press it because the whole time you're like.
You too worried about the pain.
Exactly. Like you're pissed. You can only like curse at it, but you cannot press it because you're just hurt.
Because if you try hitting it, you're gonna hurt yourself even more.
Because how can you press something if you can even stand still?
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's really wild.
It is what it is. Should we just pick up where we left?
Yeah.
All right. Man, you said you were gonna spit some bars. Spit it.
I spit them already.
That's the problem.
That's exactly what the problem is. That's why I said you just got to record, bro.
Yeah. Basically, we're talking about.
It was some good.
Yeah.
some good seeds right there.
Yeah. Basically, just for the camera. We were talking about how you said you left up saying that why is it always that
why is it always the girl that tries to change the guy, but the guy never tries to change the girl? And it's not always that case, but majority of the cases are like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like when people are in love, when a guy is in love, or even when a girl's in love, if you know what love is blind. So
yes.
The reason you don't try to change that person is because you don't see nothing wrong with them. You're in love with them unconditionally.
Oh no, I disagree.
Okay.
Well, I agree with that. You love them unconditionally, but I don't believe that you love the person because you don't see anything wrong with them. I think you love the person because you see a future and that person makes it better of you. But you also see the bad things. It's just that even with the good and bad things, you're still able to accept them as they are, as who they are. Because you definitely see the bad things.
Yeah, that's what I mean about love being blind.
Yeah.
When you're blind, you just don't see the red flags.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Because there's a lot of red flags you miss because of the fact that you're in love. Yeah, definitely. But, I mean, I did notice red flags in the beginning. But it's just, there was a lot of other things that made it up for the bad things.
Do you feel like the good things outweigh the bad things? Is that what you're saying?
You said what?
Are you saying that the good things were outweighing the bad things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, and even though they outweighed it, in the long run, you still kind of like want to change it. But then you start realizing like, okay, but even the bad things, they come from somewhere. Like for example.
Trauma. Childhood traumas.
Yeah, but not just that. All right, so that's different because trauma is something
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why it's different is because trauma, I don't see anything good coming out of it. Trauma is a thing that something bad happens to you and now you adopted such a behavior and you are affecting the other people around you because of the way you're acting because of the trauma.
But don't you feel like because people run away from relationships is because of trauma? Because they're so used to running away from their problems, it's so easy for them to, get away.
It depends on the situations. Sometimes trauma happens and whenever, okay, let's say it like this, for individuals, whether you're in a relationship or not. When trauma happens, you have to learn from it and you have to overcome it. If you don't overcome it, it overwhelms you and then it changes you. It doesn't change you for the better. You have to accept for what it is and you have to take it for the better. And then for the next, and when you learn from it, when you see the red flags for the next one, you don't accept it because you know exactly the path and the road that it's taken. You know what I mean? So trauma is it's a different topic than what I was gonna go for, because there's certain things like the topic that we were talking was the bad things and the good things in a relationship with like the other person. So the bad things, sometimes like bad things is like, for example, someone that has no patience, like they're always in a hurry or something like that. Sometimes that irritates the other partner because you're like, bro, sometimes I need that like my partner to be patient in certain things. But sometimes there's a trait to it. Like the trait is like they might be impatient of this, but because that impatience that they have of certain things,
get things done quick.
Yeah, it has some pros.
There's a benefit.
Yeah,
the pros
exactly.
And the cons
Exactly. So that's what I was trying to say. then when you said trauma, I was like, well, that's a whole different thing. Like the trauma is something bad that happens and it scars you, and then sometimes it changes you and it doesn't change you for the good. And that has to be changed. That's a big red flag. Like that's not just a red flag, that's a big red flag.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, but
I definitely understand where you're coming from about when you learn from your past relationship, you kind of just not ignore the red flags for your next one.
Yeah, because now you know exactly the path that goes to, and what things you really don't want to deal with, and what things, like you learn the things you can deal with and the things you cannot deal with. And the things that you cannot deal with, you're like, okay, I know exactly how this person is, and that I've already gone through that, and I really don't want to go through it again. It's a preference thing, kind of. It's like, well, are you willing to go through it, or are you willing not to? If you're not willing to go through such a thing because it affects you in such a way, then don't. It's a red flag.
Are you really willing to repeat that cycle again?
Exactly. Like, for example, and it's almost like a interest type of thing, because like for girls, like we were talking about, like you do not really go together with girls that have this extreme energy because you're a low-key type of guy.
Yeah, it's like my energy is always so, I'm gonna explain it like this, how people have always told me I'm very mellow.
Gotcha.
I would like to be around that mellow energy. I can't be around people that are all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. So that's,
to me, it's annoying and it's irritating.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm putting the topic of, like the certain things that it's not exactly a bad thing for the person to have itself. It's just that when you put it to a person you want to be with, sometimes it's not the best combination for the person you are to the person they are. And a lot of times you try to force it to change yourself so you can be with that person, but then that's a bad thing, because then they're not accepting you for who you are, and that's just not a good route. For me, when I was in that relationship, the things I was trying to change were the things that I've noticed, and she explained to me why, and she had to explain it to me a lot, because I'm a hard-headed person. Like if I don't see the reason why, or I don't understand it on my own mindset, I'm not changing it.
Do you believe I feel like, you know, when we were talking about when you know someone, you know it's best to communicate with them. When you know someone, you know how to communicate with them.
Yeah.
In the best way that they understand.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Do you feel like there's things that she could have communicated differently in order for you to
100%.
Understand it better?
100%. We had communication problems. We had some communication problems. She was switching it. I don't want to put her business out there. Like, it's cool for me saying like my part of like how I had to change things about me.
Is it cool if I have her in here tomorrow and oh no, yo,
we haven't even seen each other for a little bit, so I'm not see that happen.
Nah, in my opinion, I'm not allowed to have girls in here.
And she doesn't like talking about her personal life. That's why I kind of hold it back. It is different because I do. It's weird because I like talking about my personal stuff, because I like people taking stuff from like my past and my experiences. I like people taking notes from it and taking whatever good they can out of it. But for her, it's different. She likes to keep it low key, and that's why I'm trying to be respectful while also being able to say the things that I believe can come out good of it, or a lesson can come out of it. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
I mean, all right, so you understand how there's people that are a blessing to your life, and then there's a lesson.
Okay.
Do you feel like she's a lesson to your life? Or is she a lesson?
I mean, she was definitely a lesson, because everybody is a lesson. It's just that not everybody sticks around. So some people don't really stay in your life. They just become a lesson. That's it. But everybody is a lesson.
So everyone's always there to teach you something.
Yeah, everybody's there to. You learn something from everybody. Whether it's just watching, listening, whatever, you learn something from that.
Okay. Whether
it's something good or something bad, you learn something from it. And but that's why it's weird, because I don't know the future. I don't know if we might get back together in the future. But definitely some things have to change. But
I feel like when when things are going sour in a relationship, it's always because if that person started dating you because they like the person that you are, what's the whole point of them changing who you are? This is the reason you started dating me to begin with.
It's hard because
but don't you believe that the reason the person starts becoming irritated with you is because there's possibilities that they're looking outside of the relationship?
I understand. Well, okay, so you're saying that maybe the reason is because they're starting to look outside the relationship.
Yeah, like you just don't suffice anymore.
No, I believe differently.
Okay.
The reason why I believe differently is because, me personally, I believe it depends on the person's will. So, I am willing to change some things. Certain things I'm not willing to change. Because certain things is what I believe in. Certain things I am not sure about. And I'm just going through the journey and trying to learn from it. And I just pick and choose whatever I believe is best. If I am doing something that is wrong, I want to hear your take on it. And if I am doing it wrong and I know I'm doing it wrong, I don't want to keep doing it. It doesn't matter. It's a bad habit. So why would I just do the excuse of like, no, this is who I am, you shouldn't change me, if I know it's wrong? You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect. That's the reason why.
And that goes back to the topic of, you know, you're doing something wrong and do it anyways. Yeah,
it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Because then you're not becoming a better person. You're staying in that little box.
You're feeding into the bad habits.
Yeah. And it's a selfish thing because you're expecting the other person to deal with it. It's a selfish thing, so it's not good.
Yeah, that spoke very loud to me. I took that.
Yeah. So that's why, man, relationships are complicated for sure. That's right now I'm just focused on giving myself some self-love. Yeah.
Yep, same.
Even though, man, I have to be honest with you guys. I miss her. I'm still attached. But I don't have any plans of going back right now. Simply because if it's too early, first of all. So if things go back, are they really going to change? Is it really going to change the way she feels? Is it going to change anything of what it was? It's too early for that, first of all. There's still things that I have to grow from it. And there's like things I have to learn and grow and become better. And I hope she does the same.
It's also, like I told you before, that I just ran off my mind.
It's all good. It happens. I'll put some lipstick on, so. Because, bro, I don't know what's going on with this weather, but my lips, they keep getting dry.
Bro, my lips were getting crazy dry when I was working the other day.
You got some crazy lips, bro. You got some.
Nigga. This, man.
Bro, he doesn't like when I give him compliments like that.
That's weird, bro.
It's not weird, bro. It's brother's love, you know?
Yeah.
It's man's love. It's nothing wrong.
Don't get me wrong, like my cousins be like that all the time. No, but when we first started the podcast, what you were saying was Esty, bro.
Yeah, because he started. This first time I hear him over here with the headphones, and all I hear is, "Yeah, man, this is my podcast and stuff like." I was like, "Hey, yo, you got a sexy voice." I'm not gonna lie, bro. Not gonna lie to you, bro.
That's wild, but
you see what I'm saying? That voice,
thing
bro.
is, you want to know what's crazy?
What?
I normally try to talk like this with people, but this is my voice.
That's your voice?
Yeah.
That's just when you relax.
It's because I don't want people to be intimidated. You get that?
Oh.
It's like I try to
intimidation can be a good thing.
Yeah, but I try to keep my voice high pitch in a way. Try to make it sound light.
Don't do that. Don't.
I'm so used to it now, though.
Okay.
I've been doing it for years now. That's just like, it's second nature.
Okay, I guess if it's second nature, it's whatever. But I was just saying, like, don't do that. Like, worried about someone getting intimidated. Intimidation can be good, because here's the thing: if you don't have a level of like intimidation, you're never gonna get respected. For example, it sounds crazy, but look. think about countries, right? Countries and stuff. Like, oh no, actually, just you and I, right? I cannot just run my mouth and say whatever I want about you, because if I said crazy things about you, disrespecting you or whatever, there's gonna be consequences of it. You're gonna take some actions.
Yeah, every action has a reaction.
But here's the thing. If there wasn't any barrier or any consequences for my actions, there would not be no respect. Because I could just say whatever to you and you wouldn't do anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the same thing, and it happens.
Like if there wasn't any reaction, you wouldn't be able to learn from it.
Yeah, so there's no this. So intimidation. There's good things about intimidation, and it also makes people on guard. Of like, it gives you respect, but it's good intimidation. Like, it's not intimidation in the sense of like you're trying to scare them away. It's intimidation of like, to respect who you are, and that, you know, if something happened, you taking your stand. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be a protector in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you being an attacker of being intimidating. It's just the intimidation of like, I'm a protector. Whatever happens, I'm down for it. Does it make sense? If you don't have that intimidation, so are you really a protector?
Would I really want to put myself in a position in which I have to protect?
You never do. Never want to. But you have to.
You're going to be forced into that position anyways.
Well, that's the reason why you have to, because it's still gonna come. There's always gonna be a situation where you're gonna have to show your intimidation, and that's why it's important. Otherwise, it wouldn't be important. Like, there's always gonna be someone that's gonna try to challenge to see how far they can take it, and you have to put that line by intimidating. You know what I mean?
It's like, the more you F around, the more you're gonna find out.
So that's why there's certain things that, and this is why life is so hard, because there's so many spectrums of things. Sometimes things are not just black and white. They have so many spectrums of colors. Certain things, they look fine, they look good. Then you go deeper into it, and then you start seeing bad things about it. Certain things look really bad. But when you go deeper, you actually find that there's good things about it, and that it's necessary. And, you know, and trying to figure out life is so complicated. So complicated.
There's a lot of things about life that are complicated. Even finding our own purpose is complicated. Even though it's like right in front of your face a lot of the time, but we just ignore it.
Yeah. I still don't know my purpose.
Maybe it was this.
Amen.
Amen, bro. Like, this is...
If this is fun.
Don't get me wrong. Don't you remember when I was talking about, don't you feel like when you're helping people out, it's like the reward is actually they give you tips towards going in the right direction? It's not always that. It might the tip might not come exactly from that person. It could be from somebody else. It's like God using somebody else to just reward you in a way.
Gotcha. I mean, if you're talking, all right. So my whole perspective with Christianity, I play for church. I do a lot of things, and I haven't had a personal relationship with God, and that bothers a lot of people when I tell them that, and I understand why.
It doesn't bother me. Like,
well, because I'm a leader in church, so it's like people look up to me, and it's hard. It's hard, especially as young as I am. I'm a leader because I play at church, and that's a high position, and that's something that people look up to. And
that's also what people out in social media, the people watch right now, if you are a Christian, they would call that, so you're playing church.
Gotcha. Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying.
You're not just playing in church, but you're playing church. That's what Christians would call that. Yeah,
but it's different for me, because I don't do it in a mediocre way. That's the reason. That's the whole reason why I'm still a leader. That was why I've been there for so many years, because I don't like doing stuff in a mediocre way. Like, for example, this is what I mean. Like, the reason I haven't had an encounter, I've done some things to try to get closer to God. It just hasn't happened. Maybe something I'm doing wrong, and certain things I am honest. Let's say it like that. My relationship to God is that I am honest, whether He's listening or not.
But do you pray?
I do. I stopped. What?
What?
I used to. That's
Alright, so what caused you to stop?
Because it feels like it was talking to a wall.
I felt like that before.
Yeah, that's the reason why I stopped. And my mom, bro, my mom be pushing it. She really
I'm
trying
on too, bro.
She really be trying. And we would go back and forth for hours. We go back and forth for hours.
And don't you feel like that's creating more of a gap, which she doesn't understand? That's actually pulling you away from God even more.
Yeah, but it also happens the other way. There's certain points that she points out that brings me in.
Of course, it's when you feel that God is furthest, from what I heard. It's when you feel that God is furthest that he's actually the closest.
Yeah.
Which is weird because
and something happened lately. That sheesh. That it was crazy, I'm not gonna lie. It was crazy. It was with my brother conversation I had. And he did not know what happened. I don't want to say what it is because I want to keep it for myself, me and God. But he did not know what happened. And he told me, hey, yo, I felt this. I don't know. Like, it was a really hot topic. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to say. So it was because we have practice together. And he's a trucker. So majority of the time, his schedule doesn't let him have practice with us. And that day he could, right? And we went to practice. And a couple days ago, that was with the whole breakup thing. And he called me. He's like, hey, yo, I need to tell you something. It's a really hard topic. And I don't know how to say it, but I have to say it. And he was like, look, I don't know why, but when I saw you in practice, I didn't see you with Franchelle. I saw you alone. I didn't see. Oh, sorry, I said her name. I said her name in the photo. Okay. Yeah, my social medias are public, anyways. But anyways, he told me that. He was like, I didn't see you with Franchelle, and I didn't tell nobody that I wasn't with her. And I came clean on him. I was like, yeah, we're not together anymore. And he was like, I literally had a vision where you were not with her, and I don't know why. And it's a hard topic, and he like didn't want to say it, but said it, and that made me think. I was like, how did he knew? You know what I mean? Like, I've seen a lot of people that they say their testimonies, and they're like, this has to be God. And this is like the first time that has happened something to me that it's like, well, that could be it. And it was definitely a hard topic, but man, what else could it be then?
There's situations that you'll face in your life that you're just gonna be like, that was God. Because to be honest, I shouldn't even be here today. I'm gonna share a little bit of my testimony.
I want to hear this.
When me and my ex broke up, I ended up, things were rough. Like I said, I was blind, just like you.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that was the end of the world. I ended up going to like a hotel by myself. I had like a whole case of beer. I had my gun on me. Like, I was talking to my gun more than I was talking to God. Like, for a while, like before it led up to that. Can you believe that God spoke to me in that room when I was like in my weakest moment? Like, vocally. He was just like, vocally, bro. Because you have to understand what separates Christianity from the rest of the religions is that God has a presence. And he told me, you're doing exactly what I want you to do. And that just meant that I was going in the right direction. So previously in the podcast, I was talking about like the things that lead up to this moment right here. It's like people don't understand.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Like, I used to, that very bad, bro. Like, I used to cry myself to sleep. I'd wake up, boom.
It's crazy because I don't want to say comparison, but like the similarity of it is like, it seems like it's always at the weakest point.
It's always at the breaking point.
Yeah, like you can have some lows, but I mean, the reason why, for me it was hard. is because things did not really end up as bad as they could. I mean, we're still friends. We only broke up for it's been a week. And but things didn't go as bad as they could. It's just because he was my first, and I'd been really attached to her. So, and I just, and I look, the reason why I waited so long for a relationship is because I take relationships really serious. The day I say, she actually asked me out to be together, for to be her boyfriend. She was the one that asked me.
Yeah, I've been there. So
and
that's pretty cool.
the day I said yes, I already knew, because I wanted to ask her out, but I wanted to do something special. But she didn't want anything special. She just wanted to make it happen. She was like, I don't need anything special. Bro, she said it in the van. We were parked in the van, just eating, and she asked me out. And I was like, why are you asking me out? I'm supposed to ask you. And but it was a cute moment. And yeah, though it's just, I take it so seriously, because when I say yes, I was just thinking for the rest of my life, because that I don't play with that. I don't play with that.
I feel that, bro.
I don't play with that. I like kidding around with the boys and stuff, and like, you know, when you're single, it's like, oh, let me see if I can, like, how my game is and try to get girls. But like, in reality, when it comes to like being in a relationship, I don't play with it, because I don't like people playing with my feelings, and I don't like playing with other people's feelings. I don't like having this communications of intentions. I want to have it cleared out from the beginning.
And that's the part that it hurts the most, because it's always going to come down to, you just have to know the person in order to get the message across the right way, and in the way that they would understand it. And that's what sucks the most. But a lot of the time too, you have to understand that maybe they don't want communication. And it's like, we think we think that they want communication, but that's not exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because, or else it wouldn't have ended in the way that it ended.
That's really interesting.
Maybe they just,
I would agree with that. Sometimes they really don't want communications. What they want is actions. And sometimes,
or even that, but even that action could just be them walking out. You have to also understand that.
No, I'm saying like sometimes for certain problems, they don't want communications. They don't want to talk about it. They just want you to change it. And if you don't take that action, they leave. Because to them it's important. Sometimes they shouldn't.
To me, that's blackmail.
Yeah, sometimes it shouldn't be, but if it is, you can't change the person. You can't really change it. If it's really that important to them, and that's what they want out of a relationship, they have all the right to ask for it.
But I feel like anything that includes change, not in like a toxic manner, but anything that includes change that is for you to change just to make the other person happy, that's just not love.
That is 100% true. If it is only to make the other person happy, that is true. But like we were talking before, if it is to the sense of like you're doing something wrong and you know you're doing it wrong, you have to change it.
But you know what also speaks loud is that you loving yourself and them seeing that you're showing yourself love. I mean, you've heard the saying that how can you love someone if you don't love yourself?
That is 100% true.
Practically, I'm aligning it with that.
Yeah.
So once they see that and you're loving them the way you're loving yourself, like, why would they want to be away from that?
This is something I actually learned recently. It's kind of weird because it's really recent. I think I kind of learned it a couple of days after the breakup. That it's a saying. You know, before I had this mentality of like, I take care of you, you take care of me. And then I realized that doesn't really work.
No, it's not 50-50.
It doesn't. No. It doesn't really work though, because of that. The mentality doesn't really take you far. That's a problem, because nobody can read your mind. The other person never is gonna read your mind. And if they're trying to take care of you, they're never gonna do it exactly the way you want. And they're never gonna do it exactly the way you want them to. So what I learned now is that it has to be like this. I take care of me for you, and you take care of you for me. You take care of you for me.
It's like, as long as you're in good health, I'm happy.
Yeah, so it's like that's when I saw that from a video.
And that's also another thing, like, as long as you're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So that also aligns up with what I was saying earlier. Like, as long as they see you giving love to yourself, which means you're making yourself happy, makes them happy too.
Yeah, I wanna.
But also, you're giving them the same love. You're spreading that love towards them and making them happy. Like, I want you to be a part of my happiness.
Yeah, that's part of my success. Like I was telling you earlier, that's if everybody's happy around me, I'm happy. That makes me happy. That gives me joy. Because if I'm happy by myself and everybody else is suffering, I feel selfish. I feel
selfish, sad.
Yeah,
like I'm taking away from someone.
I feel like it's actually impossible for me to be happy with everybody not being happy. I have to have a close group, at least a close group around me, that they're happy within themselves, or like or they're winning. Around myself, that they're winning, that things are going progress, growth. Because otherwise, if I'm the only one growing, I'm only stepping on people, and that is not happiness for me. That doesn't make me happy at all.
That's crazy. In order for you to move forward, you need to step on someone.
Well, some people do that.
That's what I'm saying. That's crazy.
Some people do that. No, well, not in order, because that makes it you have to do that. You don't have to.
But some people have to do that.
No, that's you crazy. Don't. What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying like somebody could be in a position that they would, in order for them to even move up, they need to step on you to move up.
Well,
that even works for even in the workplace.
No, I disagree with that.
You don't see that?
No.
You've never seen that though?
I don't step on people.
We're not talking about you.
No, but I'm saying I don't feel the need to step on people to progress or to move forward, because I don't need to take someone else's path out. Like I'm taking my own path. If your path aligns with mine, then sure, let's go together. But if your path goes away, I'm taking my own paths. Whether we wanted the same path or not, I'm not taking I'm not stepping over you. You just decide to go. You just decide to leave. The way you do so is by backstabbing people. That's how you step on people.
I've had that happen to me, bro.
Yeah, but that's why I was saying, like, the way you step on top of people to get somewhere is by backstabbing them. And I don't think that's necessary.
And to begin with, those people never get good rewards. It never ends well. I even noticed that, like, even now, like, even the people that have done me wrong in the past, I noticed that none of them ended up accumulating anything good. Yeah,
I have some people. I've been blessed. I've been blessed to have good people around me. It's just sad that we had to take apart.
And that hurts, yeah.
It hurt me a lot, that the fact that we had to take apart because of different things, different decisions, whether they made and I made, that it just took them to a whole different path that it's not aligned to mine. And that is sad. But I've been blessed to have a lot of good people. I've had some friendships that didn't end up well. And it is, they stab you in the back, and it's like, oh, okay, so this is how you are. And to me, it's just like, I don't have to deal with you anymore because you're out. It's kind of, it sucks, but it's still a W, because it's like, I don't have to deal with you anymore. Now I know exactly who you are, and I'm happy that it happened in this small
time frame. Because if you would have been there later on, you would have ruined everything.
Like, it's like, it would have been really bad if I was like in the edge hanging and I had to depend on them, and then they backstab me there. That's the part where it's like, wow, you really backstab me. But it's like, if it's just in my journey and they backstab me for whatever reason, I'm just happy they're gone. I'm happy they're gone. And it's hard to not let them change you, to basically do the same thing to the next one. Because sometimes when you start getting played, you're like, you know what, I don't even care, I'm just gonna start playing other people so I can at least advance something. But that is a bad journey to take, because you start losing yourself. You start taking a hold, you start hating yourself, because it's like, look at the person I became because of this MF person.
You became the exact same person you hated.
Yeah. I'm not speaking bars, bro. I'm just speaking bars. I see you, dog. I see you, man.
Yeah. That's so crazy, because that same phrase presented itself like back then. Like, I was thinking about, like, I've never cheated on anybody, but even for like the people, like my past relationships that, the females that have cheated on me,
yeah,
I thought like the saying came to mind, like, if I were to do them how they did me, I became the same person that I hated.
That you hated it. Yeah.
So you just became the enemy.
Yeah.
Yourself.
You become your worst enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's 100% facts. That's why you cannot let those bad people change you. And it's, to me, that's one of the hardest things in life, because it keeps happening. It's not, because it's different when it happens one time and then you do it and then it's like, okay, I really don't have to deal with this anymore. But it's something that keeps happening, because there's so many people, especially nowadays, that like to step over other people
Just to get somewhere.
Yeah, just to get somewhere.
Or not even just to get somewhere, but just to get that adrenaline rush.
Yeah, I guess. Some people just do it.
I don't know.
Some people just do it for the fun.
Yeah.
Or for the hell of it. I don't get it. I really don't.
They need to feel like they're above someone.
That's what happened to me, actually. It was a friend I had, and he just did it for the hell of it. There was nothing to gain.
And the same thing happened to me, and in the end, he lost.
Yeah, I really don't know.
It's like a pointless thing. Why screw me just to try to make things work out for you and this other individual, even though that whole thing was going to crash anyways.
And you know what's the funniest thing?
And they wanted you to drown with them.
Yeah. You know what's the funniest thing?
What?
I never had the conversation with that guy. I never had like confront him.
Mm-hmm.
I never did. I could have. I never did, because I just decided, why do I want to deal with it when it's not worth it? They just show you exactly who they are. Why? Like, I only deal with the things that I see a future to it. I didn't see a future at all for that. I'm like, what they did, stabbing you in the back, it's like, it's not worth it. Why would you want to have a relationship or a friendship or even having as an enemy in your life? I'm just like, no, I'm just stepping out. I just stepped out. They probably don't even know what happened. I just know exactly the truth of what happened because I found out. But yeah, that's how it went for me.
Yeah. Stepping over puddles full of pain.
Stepping over what?
Stepping over puddles full of pain.
Oof.
That's the game.
Man, you
Just
gotta write a song. You gotta write a song. He got so many bars out here. He's like, stepping over puddles over pain.
No, that's a bar from, I forget which artist. But bro, to begin with, I don't got the voice for that.
For what? For rapping?
For rapping, bro.
Just do poems.
That's crazy. I used to write poems.
Poems are amazing. Poems are so underrated.
I like poetic justice.
Gotcha. I don't like the long ones. I like the shorts, because long becomes too draggy for me. But the short poems.
Imagine reading like a whole book of just one poem. It's like, is this poem ever gonna end?
Yeah.
This is good though.
Yeah. Yeah. Poems are something else, and poems are like so hard, because poems are like, you have to find words that are not the same as the usual language that you usually use in the everyday, but they have to be relatable to the everyday life. You know, it has to be relatable to something. It has to have such a meaning. That every single word has to have a meaning, and you have to rhyme it first of all. You have to find a way to rhyme it, and every word, like every sentence, the next one has to be somehow connected. They're not just words. Like with music, sometimes there's words just to be words.
It's just, I mean, they both have one thing